god, they're like freezing. Do you see this? Do you see this right here? Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. I'm your host, Mothman.
And I'm your host, the Squonk.
The Squonk.
Womp, womp, womp.
Amanda, for those just tuning in, just listening, Amanda's dressed as the Squonk, and it is unlike anything you could even imagine. Whatever you're picturing, you're wrong. I know I was.
Yeah, when I walked in, Cassidy was without words.
I was shocked. Well, so she came to pick me up, and I was already in. I'm just wearing like a Mothman, like hoodie situation,
Like a
onesie type thing with wings and stuff. But so she wasn't in a costume, and I was like, "What the heck, girl? I'm in my costume." And she was like, "Oh, you don't understand. Like, I would be arrested and sent to prison.
I would.
For lunacy if I was caught outside wearing this." And I was like, "It can't be that crazy." And then it was exactly that crazy.
Yeah, I think people would immediately call the cops if they saw me on the street.
There would be some sort of crew searching for. You would probably start a new cryptid situation.
Oh my God, I could.
Yeah, like people would be like, "I saw her at the Vons.
The Squonk is alive and well.
She's at Ralph's.
She's fucking grocery shopping.
She's crying and buying Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee."
That she is.
Yeah, crazy. Amanda is the costume queen, though.
Listen,
She's well known for that around town.
I just really like to make things.
You do. You're very creative.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're like crafty.
It's funny because, like, I don't think I am, but, like, when it comes to just, like, stupid Halloween costumes, I'm like, I could glue that together.
Yeah, you're like, because I would not have even known where to start to make what you're wearing happen.
It came to me in a dream.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good. Wow. I just have that's a little bit.
You do have nightmares, and I could see this coming to you in a nightmare.
I could see that happening. Yeah.
You might have nightmares of this tonight, actually.
Genuinely. Yeah. I'm afraid. I'm a little afraid.
There's a chance that I will be in your doorway at 3 a.m.
I was imagining you like trying that on for the first time and like your husband coming home from work and being like, "Ah," you know what I mean?
That would have been really good if I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my dog would be so scared if I was dressed like that.
My dog didn't even care. He didn't even flinch.
Literally not even a flinch.
He's like,
what
"Mom,
a good boy."
She looks like this every day.
He's like, "Mom, even if I was blind, I would find you."
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, good boy. He smells me, that's why.
He does.
Well, guys, happy October.
First week of October.
Here we are. We're very excited to be here.
Clearly.
I feel like I could go to the club like this. I don't know.
I feel like you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get down.
I have faith in you. Get down a little. Get down a little.
Get down.
Get down. Get down. Ooh, ooh.
Get down tonight. Get down tonight. We are drinking these pumpkin iced latte situation. What is it? It's
very unique.
It's a spiked
Dunkin' Donuts spiked pumpkin latte.
It does not taste like pumpkin to me, like at all. I'm not getting pumpkin.
Or really latte.
No, I don't know what I'm getting from this.
The flavor is mysterious.
It really is. Like, I'm not sure how to feel.
Yeah. We thought for sure this would be a slam dunk, but as with all Dunkin' products,
A slam dunk in.
Slam Dunkin', you're taking a risk every time you purchase a Dunkin' Donuts product.
Dunkin', we love you, but what is this cocktail?
It's very strange. And remember when they had a couple years ago, they had the beer?
Yeah, those were good.
Those were really good. So I had high hopes.
Yeah, we really liked those.
Also, sorry if I have a little bit of a lisp. I bit my tongue so bad last night in my sleep. And now my tongue is so swollen. I just keep re-biting it, you know?
You know,
the best feeling in the world.
That's just the Mothman has a lisp.
Yeah, it's part of the character.
Yeah, you're in character.
Okay? Respect my character choices.
Yeah, these are our choices, okay?
These are our choices.
We made this decision.
I made this decision. It's hot as hell in here already. My neck is so sweaty. My hair is accidentally purple.
It is purple, but I think it looks good.
Thank you. It's kind of fitting the vibe.
It is.
Yeah.
It's perfect for Halloween.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, what a time.
What a time to be alive.
I am excited for, obviously, October. I'm also excited. We got our new mini moon. She's here.
She's here. I didn't see her.
She's here. You can't see her. She's too little. She's on the size of like a bus.
Oh. Oh, you can't see that from outer space.
No.
But I bet she's causing some mischief.
I would think so.
I hope so.
Like allegedly, the James Webb Space Telescope saw an object far away, and it course corrected. It changed its course so that it would come towards Earth instead of away from us.
Is that her?
No.
Oh, it's a different object.
This is a totally different object.
Uh-oh.
And it changed course to come to us, which means
That can't be good.
aliens,
That can't be good.
obviously.
Oh, maybe I know.
What?
They came down to see this right here.
Oh, yeah, they heard
Today.
about the squonk.
Yeah, they said, we really got to see DTK's costumes.
They were like, we heard about this squonk sighting.
and we want to see it live in real life.
Well, unfortunately, they won't be here for like 10 more years because they're so far away.
Oh, that's true. It takes 10 years.
Yeah, girl.
Oh, that's so long.
That's so long.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, how am I supposed to wait that long?
That's like part of the problem with space travel. It just takes so long to get everything so far away. You know, warp speeding ain't real.
Are those astronauts still stuck in space?
As far as I know, yeah. They said they're going to be stuck in there probably until February of 2025.
Well, maybe they can meet an alien. They're closer.
They're closer. Well, remember, they heard a mysterious noise.
They did. They did hear that.
Yeah. And you said, I don't like that. Why did you tell me that?
Well, yeah, I tried to block it out of my brain because it scared me. Sometimes you tell me things that I don't want to know about, and then I have to pretend like I didn't hear them, and then I forget about them, and then you bring it up, and you're like, remember I told you about that? And I'm like, I blacked it out.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a whole process. And then you tell me again, and then I have to do the same thing.
Listen, I don't know. There's a lot going on all the time.
Did you see that? I'm sure you got it sent to you because I got it sent to me a bunch, but there's like a mysterious cryptid creature that was caught on tape in like North Carolina.
No.
You didn't see it? Oh, my phone's up
No.
there. It looks eerily similar to our friend, the Fresno Nightcrawler, except black.
We got a pair of dress slacks now?
Yeah.
Okay, what could I look up to find it?
I would say North Carolina creature caught on tape.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. Nothing's popping up when I'm Googling it. It's not this Bigfoot guy?
No, but he's cute.
This is what I look like when my boyfriend catches me crawling out of bed to get cheese in the middle of the night. That's what he sees.
That guy is really cute. Oh, no. Just kidding.
I think I have to take the red glasses off. I think they're disorienting me. I don't know where I am or who I am. I can just wear them real low like that.
You don't have to wear them at all.
No, I know. I think I think they're psychologically torturing me a bit.
They might be.
Like when you're like, well, just tell me something else. I always have something else.
You usually do have something up your sleeve to tell me.
I think the red is really throwing me off here. I got to take these off briefly. Yeah. Okay.
I did see this TikTok. It's very possible that it was fake. You know how I get, where I get tricked on the internet.
Amanda is exactly your aunt who reposts something like, "Can you believe this?" on Facebook. And
Yeah.
it's like something that's clearly not real.
And it's from, what was that website that tricked me once?
The Hard Times.
Or The Onion or whatever?
It's basically the Onion, yeah.
So this definitely could have been just like the girl tricking me on the internet, and I believed her. But this girl got on TikTok and she's like, oh, my sister bought me this croissant lamp from Temu. Did you see that?
I did see this.
Is that real?
And so she bought this croissant lamp from Temu, and then there was all these ants going in it.
Yeah.
And she was like, what the heck? And so she opened it up, and it was just a croissant dipped in resin.
Like, was that real?
I think so.
That's crazy.
Temu's wild.
That's so crazy.
One of my favorite like genres of stuff is stuff people find on Temu that or like buy on Temu and then like what they actually get, and it's always something insane.
Dude, I don't know. All I know is that the girl opened up what she thought was plastic croissant, and then she ate a piece of it.
Ew, did she?
Yeah, she
I
took a
didn't see
piece of
that.
the inside and was like, that's a freaking croissant.
Why would you eat it?
I don't, especially if there was like ants in
There's
it.
ants all over it and stuff.
You nasty.
Very nasty. People out here are making very strange decisions.
But also like Temu, you can't just do that. You can't just dip a croissant in resin.
Apparently you
call
can.
it a day.
I want to know how long she had it before she realized.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, was it a long time or was that a new purchase?
It's a great question.
Yeah. The inquiring minds need to know.
Yeah, we have questions and we need answers.
I think like the classic thing is like, I don't know why, like men are like addicted to Temu. Like every dude I know is like addicted to Temu.
Really?
They love it. I'm not kidding.
They love Temu.
They love Temu.
What do they buy on there?
Shoe racks, batteries.
Okay, interesting.
A lot of weird stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, because every time I get like a Temu ad, it's for like the strangest things. And I'm like, there's no way that whatever this like kitchen item is that you're trying to sell me for $2.99 is going to be what it is.
No, absolutely not.
Like,
it's like, do you remember when everyone got addicted to AliExpress?
yes, I do.
And then it turned out it was just like all just like made out of lead.
I did
Everything was
purchase
made out of
something.
lead.
I did purchase something on there once upon a time.
Yeah, it's scary. Scary. It's a scary world out there. Oh no. Oh no, my blanket has turned against me.
Oh no, what is it doing?
Okay.
Oh God.
Sorry, it got stuck on my toes and I couldn't flex them away. It
Oh God.
was a really scary moment for me.
I really think this drink is destroying us little by little.
Just everything. I'm thrown off. I'm hot. I'm hot to go.
HOTTOGO.
You can get me squonk to go.
Squawk.
Oh yeah, we got a long month ahead of us, kids.
Yes, we do, baby.
It's all right. We've got lots of fun stuff planned. We just started our new recap series on Patreon. The
We did.
McMillions series. That's pretty fun. It's nice covering something that's not so serious.
Yes.
Because I get to just make fun of people and be rude.
Yeah, because it's hard when we cover true crime and we can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be nice to the people.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah.
like, as you should.
No, of course.
Yeah.
Well, unless they're assholes.
Sometimes, yeah. that
Sometimes
does
they're
happen.
assholes.
Yeah, that's true.
But
And we have a new episode of Shot of Kool-Aid that just came out. And we've got lots of fun stuff planned for October. So jump on there.
a lot of vlogging.
A lot of vlogging coming your way. You better believe it.
You better believe it.
Believe it. And how about we welcome some of our new cool kids?
Let's welcome them.
Let's do it. All right. So welcome to Lindsay H.
Hello, Lindsay.
Welcome to Deanna H.
Hello, Deanna.
Welcome to Sarah K.
Hello, Sarah.
Welcome to Jonathan.
Hello, Jonathan.
And welcome to Maya I. And it might be Mia.
Mia, Maya.
So either Mia or Maya.
We love you.
It's a very unique spelling of whichever name it is. And watch them be like, actually,
It's Abigail.
it's pronounced Abigail. Sometimes that do be happening to me. And I'm like, how did I miss all those other letters? And then I look and I'm like, yeah, that is Abigail.
I know, and you're the one reading it, so I just trust you.
You deserve to, which is such a crazy game for you to have to play.
No, it is.
Yeah. Dangerous
Because
game.
really, I have no idea what you're reading or what you're
idea.
trying to say.
Could be anything.
Really, and I just go with it.
And I also wanted to say thank you to some people who bought us some beers.
Yes.
So thank you to Victoria, who said, "Hi, ladies. I've been a long-time listener, so this has been a long time coming. Your podcast got me through some tough days in the lab during my PhD and provided entertainment on the walks and runs. Thank you for all that you do and enjoy these beers."
Thank you.
And Jamie bought us some beers and said, "Hey, spooky ladies, I just wanted to buy you guys some beers in honor of my recent promotion. Ooh, congratulations. I wouldn't be able to make it through the workday without the pod, so thank you for keeping me company every week while I work from home. Love you, ghouls."
Love you, ghoul. Cute.
Thank you and congratulations, Jamie.
Yeah. Can I have some money? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I love you.
Literally, that's what they just did.
No, I want all the money.
Oh.
Though. Everything that you get from your promotion.
That's not very squonk of you.
I just a little guy.
I'm just a little squonk.
I'm just crying over here.
Don't you see me cry? I cry.
I need money.
Money, please.
I do have 2 birthdays to shout out.
Oh, yes, please.
They're both a little belated, but happy belated birthday to Celeste. We love you. We hope you had an amazing
Happy birthday,
month. I think it was
Celeste.
closer to the beginning of September, but hope you had the best time.
Listen, but it's like sexy secret second birthday.
That's right.
Sorry, I had to throw all the S's I could in there when I'm currently lisping.
Sexy secret. What was it?
Sexy secret second birthday.
Second birthday. I like that. Sexy secret second birthday.
Just when you thought your birthday was over, boom.
Sexy secret second birthday.
Sexy secret second birthday.
I also have a belated birthday shout out to Rose. Happy birthday. It was last week. Hope you had the best time.
Happy birthday, Rose.
And we love you both so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And glad you made it another year.
So glad.
It's rough out there, you know what I'm saying?
It really is. You could be drinking these weird ass drinks.
They're very bizarre.
You could be sweating in a onesie.
And I was so confident about them. I was like, we got to buy 2 packs.
No, we have 2.
Yeah. So we're really going to have to power through these.
Maybe we can find something to make it taste better.
I am good at that.
Yeah. I do have vanilla creamer. Maybe that would taste better.
That would probably help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what we're working with here. There's some sort of sour element to it.
It's sour.
That is really confusing.
It's really sour.
Yeah. Ugh. Well,
we'll figure it out, guys. Don't worry.
I did get to see my dad, though.
You did.
That was really fun.
Jay.
My dad and my little brother came to visit, and we had a very good time just bopping around. That's why our episode, like when we recorded and versus when we released, was like a little wonky. So sorry for the birthday people. So I basically took the week off. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And got to hang out with my dad. Went around town, went to Seal Beach, walked around.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was like
fun.
a little staycation.
It was like a little staycation.
That's always fun.
Yeah. Got my little brother into Seinfeld, which my dad is very happy about.
Nice.
Yeah. So, trip accomplished.
The guy from Seinfeld, his name is David Alexander. No.
David Alexander.
David Alexander, right? That's
Yes.
his name. I think he is performing in Fiddler on the Roof in Orange County.
Oh,
next
interesting.
month. Yeah.
Huh. You know what? I hate when screen actors get on stage. I hate it. There, I said it.
Maybe they like to sing too.
Then be in a musical.
It is a musical.
Not on stage. They're never good. And it always ends up like, one of the reasons I'm thinking about this right now is like whenever there's a cool show and then they put like something like, they're like, oh, we're going to cast Oscar Isaac as Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's like a bunch of assholes who don't actually give a shit about Jesus Christ Superstar.
No, absolutely.
Buying up all the tickets.
I get it.
To see Oscar Isaac. And it's like, I don't even care about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then all the people, all like the actual like thespians and musical theater people don't get to be the leads because the famous person is.
Yes. It's the same thing. It's the same reason I hate when just like normal ass people, like normal ass actors take voice acting roles. I'm like, I'm sorry, we do not need Chris Pratt to play Mario. Like hire someone who's actually good at voice acting.
Yeah. And there's so many
But
people
they're like
that
trying
just
to
do that.
Yeah. There's so many people. And then it's like, oh, and then they're never even actually very good at it.
Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong.
It's a pet peeve of mine.
You're not wrong. I went to see Waitress, my favorite musical, on Saturday, and it's at like this. It's kind of more like a community theater, but like one step below Broadway.
Yeah.
Because they still have like all the union people in it, but the guy, that like I'm assuming is like the CEO of the theater comes out in the beginning and he's like, I want to welcome all of our monthly, members and everything. And don't forget, next month we have Jason Alexander in Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's weird.
See, that one I'll give him because it's like he's doing like a smaller, like whatever. And also he's not like a millionaire superstar right now. I'm sure he makes his good money off of Seinfeld, whatever. But like, yeah, when it's like, I'm going to go be on a Broadway show and I'm a really famous person, I'm like, go away. Just do the other thing that you already are doing. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, absolutely.
I would be very confident to say 90% of the time they're not as good as if they would have hired a stage performer.
That is definitely a fair statement to say. Yes.
So it's annoying to me.
No, I agree.
I don't know. It's one of those weird things. I'm not even like a big theater person. I don't know why it pisses me off so much, but it does.
You're like, I don't even go to the theater.
I don't. I really don't give a shit. I don't know why it annoys me so much. Because I know that the people who are into it are really passionate about it. even like just the fans, like the people who go to shows regularly. And I'm sure it must be really annoying to them when they're like, great, like someone got cast in this show that I really want to go see, but now it's going to be a bunch of people there to see that person. They're not going to have theater etiquette. They're not going to know how to handle themselves. They're going to be weirdos, you know?
No, I always prefer, like, if I'm going to see a show, I want to see, like, the good theater person. The only thing I would have seen, which I'm not in New York anymore, so I couldn't, was Ariana Madix in Chicago.
Yeah.
I would have seen that. But she's also not a actor or superstar.
No.
She's a reality television
she wants to be an
star.
actress, right?
Yeah.
That's like why she lived in LA.
Yeah.
She wanted to be in theater.
Yeah, like she did musical theater her whole life, but then got into reality television instead.
Yeah. What a whirlwind
What
that
a
is.
whirlwind. You know? It only took her getting cheated on to get on the stage, but
Yeah, that's kind of depressing, huh?
yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm really happy for her because she seems very talented and people really like her. She's like host of Love Island or whatever, and people say that she's really good.
She is. Yeah.
So like I'm glad, but like how depressing. Like you have to get cheated on and like publicly
I
humiliated.
know that's like literally the only reason why her career took off.
Yeah.
But
Hey, listen, if you're gonna have something bad happen to you, you might as well seize that moment.
Exactly. I was gonna say when it rains it pours, but no. Opposite.
Opposite.
When it
When it rains, sometimes someone gives you an umbrella.
there you go. And then a rainbow comes out and
And then you get to be on Broadway.
Exactly. When will that happen to us?
Well, first your husband has to cheat on you.
No, because even if he did, I'm not famous. Nothing good would happen to me. I would just be depressed.
You would just have to squonk out.
I would just look like this.
You would just cry and
cry
and snot
and
bubble.
into my drink, into my sour drink.
Maybe it needs a little salt. Okay, we don't know. Wow, we're really on one today.
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on.
I like had stuff too. Like I was like, I had stuff teed
I'm
up.
pretty sure everything left your brain the second you walked in here.
The second I saw the squonk, every kind thought I'd ever had left my brain.
Maybe that's what the squonk does. Like that's what the cryptid does.
Disorienting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm definitely disoriented.
Hello, boys and girls. It's me, the squonk.
Oh no. I need you guys to know too, before she put it on, she goes, for the record, this is my interpretation of the squonk. This is not the biblically accurate squonk. This is the Amanda King James version.
Well, there's a lot of different versions of the squonk. You've seen all the pictures.
I have, yeah. Sometimes he's more dog-like. Sometimes he's more pig-like.
Exactly.
Sometimes he's kind of bug-like.
Exactly.
Kind of looks like a little termite.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was my my interpretation of all the different styles of him.
Can I tell you a secret? You have to promise not to tell anyone.
You can definitely tell me a secret. I won't tell a single listener or anybody.
Okay, so the other day I was looking for something in my house and I opened a drawer like I haven't opened in a long time.
There was money in it.
No, there was a
Drugs.
spider and it was big. And so I just closed the drawer and like was like, hopefully I'm not the one who has to go back in there next.
What was in there?
I was looking for, I have a really old copy of The Hobbit and I keep it in the bedside table because it's like a little, you know, like when I went to college, I brought it with me. It was like kind of my little like safety.
Like your Bible.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And like my dad got it for me and whatever. And so I was taking it out because I was sending a picture to our friend Steven because he was rewatching all the Hobbit movies. And I was like, oh, let me show you this, whatever. And I literally opened it, the biggest spider in the world.
Like how big? Like fist size?
Like this big. I mean, like
a silver dollar.
we don't live in fucking Australia. So
Well, that's big.
yeah.
That's like a silver dollar.
Like that big. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's on my boyfriend's side of the bed. So I just closed the door.
Well, that sounds like a him problem now.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, you know, when you like slam a cabinet and you hear all the Tupperware fall and you're like, oh, whoever opens that next, it's just going to be Tupperware galore.
Yeah, and you just walk away.
I just did the arachnid version of that.
Listen.
Was it morally right? I don't know. The world's confusing. Would I do it again? Yeah, probably 10 times out
You
of
could
10.
have probably taken the spider and put it in our greenery behind us.
I'm so afraid of spiders.
That spider that you left in the drawer doesn't somehow get its little measly legs out.
Well, we're never going to know.
Well, we will if it bites you.
I guess, I suppose.
So I hope it doesn't.
Me too.
Somebody not to name any names, one of our listeners that I won't call you out, but told me recently that broccoli has spiders just living in it. Did you know that?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Like in the head of the broccoli, there's just little broccoli spiders.
Yeah, I would believe that. That's why like a lot of people are really, really serious about soaking your vegetables in vinegar and water before you eat them.
Because the spiders come out?
Yeah, like helps the parasites and whatever's in there like leave.
Well, I'm just thinking, because I eat frozen broccoli.
Oh, you're fine then.
Okay.
They're all frozen to death.
Because they're in there. They're just like,
Yeah, they're
like
just
frozen.
dead. It's just extra protein at that point.
But they're there, right? They're still there. They're just frozen.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
I don't know much about these broccoli spiders.
I don't want to know anymore.
I don't eat a ton of broccoli. I don't really like broccoli. That's not my vegetable of choice.
I eat so much broccoli.
I know you do. One time she texted
Why
me
is
that
that
she was
disgusting?
because I just hate the texture of it, and also you'll be like, I'm having a broccoli omelet for breakfast. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you're so gross.
I mix my broccoli with my eggs.
Listen, I'm sure that there's a thriving community, and I'm going to get 18,000 DMs about how actually I'm the weird one
Yeah.
for not liking it.
Sicker, guys.
Please don't, because the problem is I don't care. You're not going to change my mind. It's not helpful for anyone.
That's true.
But yeah, no, I'm an asparagus girl.
Ooh, I like asparagus.
Yeah, I love asparagus.
I bet there's no asparagus spiders.
Probably not. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, there's not really
they got
anywhere for them to
they got those
hide.
tiny little baby leaves on top.
Yeah.
I love asparagus, and I love what's it called? Broccoli, or not broccoli.
Ha
Imagine it worked. I'm craving broccoli.
This whole time. It's the power of the squonk.
I got squonked. Get squonked, bitch.
Yeah.
No, what am I thinking of? Brussels sprouts.
Oh, yeah. I love Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts. Throw those bitches in the air fryer.
Oh,
They
yeah.
get so crispy.
Crisp them up. Oh.
Crisp them up.
Delicious.
Microwave them. Smash them with a little cup, so they're a little flat.
Smash them with a cup.
Yeah. Like
Oh.
get them soft, like in the microwave or whatever, and then you smash them like you would like a fingerling potato, and then put a little bit of cheese on there, a little Parmesan. Throw it in the air fryer in the oven. Oh my god. Oh, it's so good.
It's giving like those crispy Brussels sprout.
Sorry, I'm so sweaty
I know
right
you
now.
are. I'm not sweaty at all.
You're naked. I'm wearing wool over here for some reason.
I know.
Like an idiot. I'm so stupid. Yeah, love a Brussels sprout. Which, crazy, you would have never caught me dead saying that. Fucking
How many years ago?
10 years ago.
Wow. You've evolved.
I have.
You've changed.
Well, apparently, so have Brussels sprouts. So I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. They literally bred the bitterness out of Brussels sprouts.
Yes,
so they
yes,
taste
yes.
different than they did like in the 90s. So not only are you not just eating boiled or bagged Brussels sprouts that your mom cooked till they were just mush, but also they do just taste better.
And drizzle some fucking maple syrup.
Oh, some
there.
balsamic.
Yeah.
Give me a balsamic glaze on there.
think
Us talking about food? Shocking.
I think we need some crispy Brussels sprouts now.
I think I know what I'm making for dinner.
Oh yeah, baby.
I got a bag in the freezer.
There you go.
I also love frozen vegetables.
Me too.
Like people who talk shit about frozen vegetables, they don't get it.
They're delicious.
They are so convenient. They don't go bad.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Somehow the second I buy a vegetable, I'm like, oh, it turns out I hate vegetables.
Every single time, I always buy like a fucking stalk of asparagus. I'm like, I'm gonna cook asparagus. Never
Yeah.
do. Goes bad.
Yeah.
Every single time. I've never actually used the asparagus that I've bought, and this has happened a lot of times.
Asparagus I will always use because I just love it and it lasts a long time.
I just forget. I forget every time to use it.
But anything else, yeah, for some reason I'm like, oh, all of a sudden every single dish that I'm making does not call for any of these vegetables, but it does call for a pizza usually.
Every time a pizza. Yeah. Whenever I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make a really delicious meal, and then I'm like, I don't really want to cook. Let's just get pizza.
And then there's a frozen pizza in there.
Yeah,
and you're like,
somehow,
wow,
some way.
okay. It turns out those never go bad like they would, like they last that long.
No, because you eat. I can't. You keep frozen pizzas for like ever.
Well, I replenish. Every time I get groceries, I get whatever frozen pizza's on sale.
Oh, because I'm always like, every time you open your freezer, you have like 10 in there.
Yeah, I always usually have at least 3 or 4 in there.
Yeah, I can't keep them. I eat them.
Because that's the way that I don't order takeout. Like that's how
fair.
I keep myself from like going out or doing something or whatever and coming home and I want to order Uber Eats. I always go, I can have a frozen pizza instead, which is probably better for me and saves me money.
Win, win, win.
I did get Uber Eats last night though.
What'd you get?
I got a burger from Eat Fantastic.
Oh,
It was so good. It was so good.
where's the other one?
Second in PCH.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was delicious. I woke up at 3 a.m. with the worst heartburn in my life. It was worth every second of it.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I've just decided it's okay. I'll just live with heartburn.
Yeah.
Are you squonking over there?
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that your stomach?
yeah.
It squonked at us.
Well, we were talking about so much food.
That's true.
And my stomach went.
It hurt. It was like, what about me, bitch? What the
I'm
hell?
fucking hungry.
What the hell? What the heck's going on in here?
Listen, the squonk gotta eat.
Squonk gotta eat too.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. Wow, what a bizarre opening to this show.
The vibes are weird.
Abysmal.
Sorry, everybody. Hopefully, Cassidy can edit this in a way that sounds like more exciting. And
That sounds
upbeat.
like we're having the time of our lives.
Cut and paste. Cut and paste.
We did go to a Spookeasy event on the Queen Mary.
How did we forget about that?
Because it was so long ago.
It was
we
so
took a
long
week
ago.
off, so it feels like nothing happened, but it also it's just because everything that happened
Oh
was
my
so long ago.
gosh. Yeah, we did. And it was really fun.
Yeah, it was cool. They had like actually really good actors
Yeah.
doing performances of like ghosts and telling ghost stories, and they had like a themed little cocktail for each of the stories. It was really good.
Oh, yeah. And you guys know I love a theme.
Yeah.
So after every ghost story that they told, they gave us like a cocktail with the name of the ghost
Yes.
that they told. And it's so cute.
It was really cute. And then we
Yeah.
got to wander around the ship afterwards, which is one of my
did.
favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Just in general.
With a drink in our hand.
Not a bad Thursday night.
Not a bad night. It was really fun.
Not at all.
So yeah, if you guys are ever in Long Beach, I know we've said it before, but you should definitely go to the Queen Mary because it's awesome.
It is pretty fun on there.
Yeah.
It is pretty fun. Yeah.
It's just like a fun vibe.
Yeah, and it's just cool. Like old stuff's cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm like, I could just wander around the ship chit-chatting. I'd be fine.
And we could. We could do that whenever
and
we
have.
want.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have. We did it on Thursday.
We did.
All right. So my story today is inspired because I've been watching Interview with a Vampire recently,
Yes, you have.
which is the best show in the world. Everyone go watch it. Interview with the Vampire. It's on AMC, but I think it's on Paramount Plus. I don't know. The first season's on Netflix, so you can go watch it there. I'm obsessed with it. So I was looking at stuff in New Orleans because I now really need to go to New Orleans. And I found this story that kind of ends in New Orleans. So
Okay.
we're going to be talking about the Count of Saint Germain.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
My sources today were Pelican State of Mind, AncientOrigins.net, Terrebonne Parish Library, and, of course, Wikipedia. All right, let me set the scene.
Please.
It's 1745, and there's a man in England in a coffee shop. He's having his mid-morning cup of tea. The man is very handsome. He's well-dressed. He has perfectly clear skin and a very charming way about him.
Wow. Sounds like my kind of guy.
Right? So imagine the surprise of the other patrons in the shop when members of the British Royal Army storm in and arrest the man on suspicions of being a spy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say vampire.
No.
God damn.
Espionage. The man identifies himself only as the Count of Saint Germain, and he was hauled off for questioning.
Okay.
The mysteries around the Count begin right away. When they begin to question him, they ask him if he prefers to speak in English or in French, and he answers in about 5 separate languages, says he's fluent in all of them, and basically every other European language, including a few non-European languages. So whatever they prefer to speak in works for him.
Okay. He can just do it all.
Yeah. The interrogators ask him his full legal name, date of birth, place of origin, but the Count was not interested and gave either very vague answers or charmingly dodged questions altogether.
He said, my name is the Count.
Yeah, basically. When he wasn't being actively questioned, he would play the violin, even composing his own music, which the nephew of the king wrote, quote, "You would have thought that he was a famous musician because of his skill and beautiful compositions."
Okay.
Despite really refusing to answer any questions, even as simple as giving your full name or a country of origin, the jailers for some reason decided to release the count, and rumors began to spread around England that the beautiful man who could speak almost any language, play violin like an angel, and retell historical events was in England, and nobody could determine who he was. So it became like a big thing.
Okay.
This even interested the King of Wales so much that he sent out for the count to be collected and brought to him. But when people started asking around for him, the count was already long gone.
He turned into a bat and flew away. I'm assuming.
And where had he gone? It seems to Paris. Paris.
Ooh.
So a mysterious stranger had showed up in Paris in the 1700s and quickly became a hit. He spoke multiple languages. He was a must-have at dinner parties because no matter where your guests were from, he could speak to them in their own language.
And he was hot.
He was well-versed in literature, politics, history, philosophy, and music composition. He could play piano beautifully and even picked up a violin and played in front of people several times, proving that he was this musical genius. And he called himself the Count.
He's back.
The Count spoke every language. Some people, though, claimed that he had no accent in any language, whether he was speaking Polish or German or Italian or French. Others say that that's an exaggerated notion. But he had a very famous party trick of telling thrilling recountings of historical figures, things that had happened sometimes even 1,000 years before. One night at a party, when he was asked how he knew these stories, he said, quote, "Well, I was there. I even met Jesus Christ himself."
You know what he sounds like?
What?
A fucking vampire. Guys. If he doesn't end up being a vampire, I don't know what I'm going to do here.
So the Count gave a few reasons for his eternal youth. The most popular was that he had discovered the secret to never-ending life by the use of alchemy. And he also claimed to have discovered the key to the Philosopher's Stone, which is an alchemy term for something that could turn metals into gold and was basically like the key ingredient to a lot of alchemy, whatever. Now, anyone can claim to not age or even, claim to be much older than they are. But there were so many writings about the Count, like throughout these years and years, and they all described him as being around 45.
Okay.
Or maybe a little bit younger.
Seems like a good age to like be forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would probably do like 30.
Well, that's just because we haven't been 45 yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe
but,
45 is the best.
Things are only getting saggier by the day. Okay. A lot of people were speculating, oh, this is such bullshit. He's just a con artist. He's just this. He's just that. But then one day, there was an incident at a party in Paris. The Countess von Gregory, who was French royalty, basically, who was close to being 90 years old, she was at a party and had been in high society for her whole life. The party in question was in 1760, and the Countess couldn't believe her eyes when she saw a man she hadn't seen in nearly 50 years walk into the party. She approached him and was confused because he had not aged a day.
And she's 90?
She's almost 90, yeah. So she approached him, asked him if he had a father or even a grandfather who had been traveling through Venice with some high society folk in about 1710, because she had been there. And the Count replies saying, "Nope, it was me. You met me all of those years ago," and then began to tell her in detail stories about the time they spent together in Italy.
Now, I'm just curious. Why is he so open about this? Like, wouldn't he try to be like hiding it?
I mean, why?
I mean, the cops were looking for him.
Because they thought he was a spy.
That's true.
But he also did travel around quite a bit and more than one of those times it was because the cops were looking for him. And obviously, guys, don't fact check me. I don't care. Okay? I'm telling a fun story. Okay? Back off. Because, of course, it's like one of those things where the second you go on any, you can read all the stories, whatever, and then there's always people like, actually, I'm telling a haunted story.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
This is about a man who doesn't age.
Yes. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
His name is the Count.
His name is the freaking Count.
So
okay?
shut up.
So, of course, this just makes the interest in him go through the roof. People are now saying, okay, this is like definitive proof that this guy really doesn't age. And they're clamoring to know more about him. And the King of France hears about this, and he thinks like the not aging thing is interesting. But he's more interested in the alchemy claims that the Count had said, that he could turn iron into gold and he could improve the clarity of diamonds and all sorts of things through the use of alchemy.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty impressive. I would also be a little like, why don't you age?
Yeah.
But,
So King Louis XV himself sends for the Count and has him brought to the palace at Versailles.
Ooh.
There, the Count mingles with even more famous names like Casanova himself. He lived at Versailles for the next couple of years, doing crazy alchemy stuff for King Louis and partying with the king and all of his buddies. But then one day, the king went to go find him, and he had disappeared.
Well, he's got to go before people are like, hey, it's been 15 years. Why do you look the same?
Why aren't you aging?
Why do you look 45 and you're still hot?
So for the next 150 years or so, he pops up all over Europe and Asia. He's written into the histories of famous historians, diaries, and was spotted working for peace during wartime, teaching in underprivileged parts of the world, working on philosophy with scholars, and all sorts of other fantastical things. In the diaries of Franz Anton Mesmer, who is the person that mesmerized is named after.
Oh, mesmerized.
I think that's where that word comes
yeah.
from. He claimed to have worked with the Count and said that the Count is actually the one who taught him how to do hypnotism.
Well, vampires are good at hypnotizing people.
Which then people are like, okay, well, maybe that's how he kept getting out of trouble with the law. Mm-hmm. He's recorded hanging out all over Germany, even spending time with the prince, spending time in the New World, and even allegedly trying to broker peace during the 7 Years' War. But this is when he sadly died of pneumonia in 1784.
He can't die. He has eternal life.
They had a whole funeral for him. They went over his things. They separated up, his worldly possessions. But the only problem with this is after his funeral, only a year later, he was said to once again be working with Franz Anton Mesmer.
Wait, what?
He was said to be working with Mesmer again a year after his death.
Did they see a body when they buried him?
Yes, that's what was said, yeah.
Okay.
And only 2 years after his death, he was chosen as the speaker and representative for the Freemasons of France.
Not the Freemasons.
The free friggin' Masons.
Oh, God.
And then he was spotted at a whole bunch of historical events like the taking of the Bastille and even the execution of Marie Antoinette.
And none of these people are like, hey, that guy died.
Allegedly, he had tried to warn Marie Antoinette years before things started to go south for them, that things were going to go south. And allegedly, she wrote in one of her diaries that she wished she would have taken the Count's word to heart.
Always listen to the Count.
Gotta listen to the Count. So there were diary entries from French royals talking about the Count, how he never seemed to age despite 15 to 20 years going by between meetings with him. Because they would like run into him, he'd do his little disappearing act, and then he would just like kind of float back in like, oh, there's a new king.
Yeah.
So I can come back and like whatever. And people would run into him and be like, hey, brother.
Hey, brother, I know you.
I know you.
We had sex one time in a upstairs manor at a party.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what the 90-year-old said.
Maybe.
Well, she didn't say that, but like that's what I took
was
it
your
as.
Implication.
Yeah.
You were having like a Rose from Titanic moments.
Yes.
Yeah, of her like reminiscing.
Yeah.
To the car.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And one of the stranger things people said about the Count is that while he was often at these parties and dinners and all this stuff, he very rarely was ever seen eating. But he was seen sipping on mineral water, wine, or sometimes an herbal tea.
Or blood.
Maybe.
Okay.
Nobody said blood, but we don't know.
Well, I just have like, if this story doesn't go in that direction, we're gonna have problems.
You're gonna be pissed off.
Yeah.
Well, now we're gonna fast forward to 1902.
Oh.
This is a time that because remember you said that time doesn't exist before 1900.
No, I know.
So now we're getting.
I'm saying
Yeah.
like now we're actually in a real year. Finally,
It's not just fake bullshit. We're
Yeah.
a real year finally.
right.
So in 1902, a man named Jacques Saint Germain moves to New Orleans from France.
Okay.
Yes. Saint Germain moved into a beautiful house on the corner of 1039 Royal Street and immediately made waves in the town. Oh, I just bit my tongue again. Because he was this very charming, intelligent, and wealthy man who also claimed to be a descendant of the well-known alchemist Count Saint Germain.
Okay. So he brought him up.
Yes. Well, people knew the name still.
Okay.
You know, a lot of French people in New Orleans.
That's true.
Nolans, New Orleans, I don't know. Anyone's going to be mad at me no matter how I say it. He immediately got a reputation for being a ladies' man. He always had the most beautiful woman with him while he was out at restaurants, out partying, drinking, even in the clubs. And if he wasn't out enjoying the night, he was at home throwing his own parties.
Okay, party animal.
Yeah, so he became known in the area for having extravagant parties with lush food and rare bottles of wine, where he would tell stories about his travels all over Europe, Asia, Egypt, just all over the globe. He's a globe trotter.
Wow. And he took after his whatever he claimed it was to him.
He's the descendant.
The descendant.
Yeah. And he also had an interesting quirk that he shared with his predecessor of having a few glasses of wine and then beginning to tell stories of long past historical events like he had been there.
Mm-hmm.
Some of his favorites to tell were the reign of Cleopatra, the fall of Rome, just all sorts of stuff that he certainly could not have been there for. People familiar with the story of the Count began to spread rumors and comment on the fact that Jacques appears to be the same age as the infamous Count was and looked quite similar to famous paintings of the man from the 1700s. When asked directly by a guest or fling, he would usually evade the question and make a comment about longevity being in his bloodline.
Okay, not that long, bro.
Like, that is too long.
Like, we don't go back hundreds of years.
Not normally. No. Another strange thing that people noted about him was while he was throwing these extravagant parties, he never ate any of the food that he provided for his party guests, and he would just sip from his goblet, which was filled with red wine, and he would regale guests with his stories.
Mm-hmm. A likely story.
Rumors began to build, and at first they were pretty lighthearted. People were joking about him being a vampire, and that word was definitely on people's lips when something tragic happened just a few months after all of these rumors began.
See, this is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. So this is less than a year after his arrival in New Orleans, and a woman that Jacques had been spotted with earlier in the night fell from his balcony. She survived the fall, and obviously people came to rush to her side to help her out. Somebody called the police over, and she is freaking out, like in a panic, trying to run away. And she said that she had leapt from the balcony to get away from Saint Germain, who had bit her on the neck.
Guys, that's a vampire.
That's a friggin' vampire.
That's a friggin' vampire if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Princess.
I think I'm starting to like this story. So she said that they had been starting to get intimate together, and they'd been kissing, and then he bit her on the neck, drawing blood. But before he could do anything more to her, somebody knocked really loudly on the front door, and it distracted him, and she was able to jump up and run and jump out of the building.
That's right, girl. Do what you gotta do.
So when the police get there, they are, get her sent over to a hospital for treatment. they have just very brief words with Saint Germain. They just tell him like, hey man, like you're really well known in the community, you're well liked. And he tells them like, yeah, she'd been drinking and I think she might have been on some other substances, and she got paranoid and freaked out when someone knocked on the front door, and that's why she jumped. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. Like us boys got to stick together.
I was going to say.
Yeah. And like people were implying that she was like a sex worker and all this stuff. And, you know, he's this rich, famous guy in the area that everyone loves. So they were like, hey, don't even worry about it. It's so late at night. Just go to bed. Come in tomorrow morning whenever you wake up and you can give your full statement then.
It's okay that this girl jumped off the balcony and has a bite mark in her neck.
Yeah. So she goes to the hospital. He goes back into his apartment or into his house and, you know, allegedly goes to sleep.
Well, they're nocturnal.
Well, the thing is, the next morning, 1039 Royal Street had been abandoned.
He fled the scene.
And for days, people waited for Jacques Saint Germain to make an appearance. Nobody knew where he had been. Most of his belongings were still in the house. And eventually, after a couple of weeks, they were like, well, what if something bad happened to him? What if he was also doing substances that night and he, you know, overdosed or something? Mm-hmm. They end up breaking the door down, going into the house, and that is where they found most of his belongings, along with dozens of wine bottles that had been opened and then recorked, where it was wine mixed with a large amount of human blood in the bottles.
Ladies and gentlemen,
let's hear it for the vampires.
What did we say?
And that is how Jacques Saint Germain became the vampire of the French Quarter.
Oh.
So Germain himself was actually never seen again.
Really?
There have been people who have claimed to see him as recently as the 70s. And people who make those claims believe that he is Count Saint Germain as well.
Like we think he's the same guy from all the way back in the day.
Yes.
What year was that started?
1745.
Okay.
To 1902.
Yeah, that sounds like a good vampire like time to
origin story. Yeah. And I mean, there's lots of people who have, you know, a bunch of debunked evidence, especially about this stuff around Count of Saint Germain. Like some people are like, no, he was actually a lot older than 45. There's some people who are like, yeah, all like the things that people say about him. A famous philosopher and historian, Voltaire, just probably a name you've heard of before.
Yes.
He described the Count very famously as, quote, the man who knows everything and never dies. And then some people are like, well, he was being tongue-in-cheek, he was being sarcastic. And then Voltaire also described the Count as a con artist and a liar. But then he also spent like a lot of time with him. And so did Casanova, who we all know who Casanova is.
Yeah.
Like, and he described the Count as like an incredible conversationalist and very charming, almost to a creepy degree.
Well, yeah, when you're alive for hundreds of years, you're probably gonna have a lot of information, be able to talk.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of recently, all these people were telling all of these stories that they had encountered people in New Orleans.
Of vampires.
And had vampire stories from there.
They did.
And a lot of them were from around the French Quarter.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah. So I love, guys, you gotta watch this show.
I know. Cassidy's been trying to get me to watch Interview with a Vampire for like the last 3 weeks.
Yes. Because I watched the first season whenever that came out 2 years ago. I think it was 2022 that it came out. And I just loved it so much. And then the new season is just so good. It's just like sexy and weird.
No, I do want to watch it.
It's so good.
I do want to watch it.
Yeah. Incredible. And the acting, everyone in it is so hot. The acting's amazing. But yeah, that's the vibe I was getting from this story.
Yeah, no, vampires are hot.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows that. The only thing is, I feel like all of these like the main creatures, not just like random weird cryptids, but like vampires and werewolves and the big ones that have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
There has to be something to this. Nobody just made them up out of thin air. I'm sorry. There has to be. truth.
Just because they're in so many different cultures.
Yeah, and throughout so many years.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before on the podcast, that there's certain stuff that just seems like it has more credence to it just because it exists in so many different cultures in such similar ways.
Yeah.
Where you're like, these are cultures that never interacted with each other, yet they have a version of this same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's been going on for centuries and centuries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there just has to be something to it. But the only thing is like, okay, if this guy, the Count, was real and was around for that long, and then he just keeps disappearing and going to different place, do you think he got smart and was just like, I'm going to lay low and only like kill every once in a blue moon for my blood?
Or just, I'm going to not be such a gregarious part of...
Yeah, I'm not going to be famous.
Yeah. I don't know. There's lots of people who think like Joaquin Phoenix is a vampire.
He does look really young. I don't know.
Because there's like, or not Joaquin Phoenix, who am I thinking of? You know who I'm thinking of. The guy from The Matrix.
Oh, Keanu
Reeves, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's like...
Why did you get him and Joaquin Phoenix mixed up?
I honestly don't know. I couldn't tell you. Love them both. But yeah, because there's pictures of like paintings and stuff of these people from the 1800s that just look just like him.
I mean...
Have you never seen that before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's a fun one to look at. Like just conspiracies of famous people who people think are eternal.
I mean...
Same with Nick Cage, I think is another one.
If Keanu Reeves is a vampire, he's at least doing a lot of good with his fame.
Which would make sense, right?
Yeah, because he was like, I figured out how to be famous in this lifetime, this century, whatever, and then I'm going to make sure I do good with it.
Okay. So yeah, here people are like, this is all the same guy. And we'll put this on the Instagram and the YouTube.
Oh my God. That's him in 1530.
Right?
Holy shit. He was really hot in 1991. Damn.
Is that when he did Point Break?
I don't know. He's looking good there. Dang.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Well, guys, you heard it here first. Or not first, but Keanu Reeves is a vampire.
You heard it here. Fifth.
Allegedly.
Keanu, we love you.
We love you so much.
Yeah, so that is the story of the Vampire of the French Quarter, the Saint Germain.
Saint Germains.
Maybe they were just related. I don't know.
No, they're the same person.
I mean, listen, the
This is
human
a
blood in
vampire.
the wine bottles is not a great look.
That's
and
a
trying
vampire.
to bite the girl's neck.
That's a vampire.
Yeah.
You can't convince me otherwise.
If you're a vampire, I will keep your secrets. Reach out to me. Also, I would like to dabble in being a vampire, maybe.
Yeah, don't kill us, but you can turn us.
You definitely... I would definitely want to be a vampire.
Yeah.
Are you joking? Especially if it's like a vampire like that and not like a Buffy vampire.
Yeah, like a normal vampire.
Yeah, like I want to keep my soul, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could be a little evil. Listen, just know, if a lot of pedophiles start going missing and I'm looking really youthful, there's a reason. These things might be connected.
If Cassidy turns into a vampire,
Allegedly.
there will be signs.
There will be signs. You won't know if I win the vampire lottery, but there will be signs.
There will be signs. No, very... Guys.
You lost your nose.
My whole squonk nose just broke off.
Jumped off of her face.
That's okay. I couldn't breathe anyway, so we're good.
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to be hard to tell your story with that on.
Sorry.
You just gross yourself out with your own squonk.
Yeah. I squonked too hard.
Squonked too close to the sun. I do like that I said maybe no more nude colored things, and you said I will be just nude colored only.
Yeah. Maybe you gave me the idea for this nude colored.
Yeah, I dropped it. We were literally just talking about like nude colored leggings and stuff on. I think it was in the shot of Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah.
Where we're like, why do people wear skin colored leggings so unflattering? And Amanda was like, watch me literally from head to toe. She's wearing literally a cap.
Yeah. It's a whole bodysuit.
It's a whole bodysuit. She's head to toe squonked.
It did have hands and feet attached, but I cut them.
That was smart. That would have been debilitating.
Actually, the ears are the feet.
Smart.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I know.
See what I told you, crafty.
Crafty girl.
Crafty gal. But yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. I love vampires.
Me too. I would love to be one day.
Maybe one day, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. If you're listening to this, I'm really cool. I will not tell anyone.
We definitely have a vampire listening to this.
There's got to be at least one
There's at least
out
one.
there.
Yeah.
Like, do you see how cool they look in these little tiny weird glasses?
You look like a vampire.
This is giving vampire.
It is.
This could be your eternal future. Call me.
Love ya.
Love you. Mean it. Sorry. Every time I type ma'am, my phone autocorrects it to mama.
Hey, mama.
Yeah, so I always sound like, I'll be like, yes, mama. It makes me sound like I'm... Have you seen those, that lady who does what it's like in every pregnancy or mom Facebook group?
No.
She's like, hi, mamas. She like does the thing, and then she pretends to be the person that's all the comments. Like, hi, mamas. Money's getting a little tight. Do you guys have any ideas for part-time jobs so that I, now that my kid is old enough to go to daycare or whatever? And then she'll be like, hi, mama, not here to judge, but if you are going to put your kid in daycare, you should have never been a mama to begin with. And then it's like, hi, mama, I have this great opportunity to say, like, they're like really funny videos. I'll just send you some.
Also, I totally forgot to say this earlier, but it's National Podcast Day today.
Oh,
So cheers to that.
cheers. I love you.
I love you. Happy Podcasters
Isn't
Day.
it funny that we have a podcast? Sometimes I just think about it. I'm like, how silly.
No, it's really silly.
It's super funny.
Super funny and silly, and this is how I dress on it, so
Sometimes you just gotta be
here
that.
we are.
Sometimes you just gotta be that bitch.
That's right. I'm that bitch.
That you're that squonk. All squonked up on a Tuesday.
Guys, I can't believe my nose fell off. It's fine.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
That's crazy.
Okay, so today I have a haunted location, naturally. Naturally, we're going to talk about the ghosts of Athelhampton House.
Ooh, fun.
So my source, the ghosts, that's right. The spirits, the ghosts, the apparitions. Who knows what will happen?
Anything could happen.
Literally anything can happen, and you will soon find that out. So my sources were an excerpt from the book Ghosts of the British Isles by Robin Wickens, hauntedrooms.co.uk, hauntedbritain.com, athelhampton.com, and Wikipedia.
Amanda's getting to her roots. Something haunted, and it's in the UK.
Shut up. Yours was in the UK, sort of, at first.
It started there.
It did. It went to different places, but
World traveler.
it did start there.
Listen, when you're alive that long,
That's true. When you're a
You gotta-
vampire, you can't just stay put. Listen, like ghosts stay put. Vampires travel.
that's so real.
That's the difference.
That is the biggest difference. Yeah.
All right. So the Athelhampton House is located in Puddleton in Dorset, England.
Puddleton.
Just every time there's just
I
like the
know.
most English fucking words
know.
ever. So this Tudor style manor dates back to, I don't even want to say these words, but the year 1086.
It's filthy, disgusting.
Literally the most disgusting
Should be
thing.
illegal.
I don't even know how buildings could have been built back then.
As
Like that was so long ago. Who was building things back then? I don't understand.
You don't want to know.
I don't actually.
Yeah.
Don't tell me anything about the year 1086. But it was originally owned by the Bishop of Salisbury. And then through the years, it was kind of passed on to all these different families until the year 1350, when Sir Richard Martin of Waterson and his wife became the Lords of Athelhampton, and their family continued to live here for the next 250 years.
Would love to be a lord or a lady.
Right?
Why not?
Well, he actually married into kind of like a royal family.
Oh, so he's the passenger princess.
He is, yeah. Because she
Yeah.
was like the heiress to something.
Okay.
And then he married her, and then they took over, and their whole family just
Good for him. Get that bag.
Get that bag. In 1485, we're finally slowly but surely getting to normal years now. Sir William Martin started building additions to the original manor, and he built Athelhampton Great Hall. And then by the beginning of the 16th century, he added a west wing and a gatehouse. And he also obtained a license to enclose 160 acres of deer park onto his property. So he built like a giant stone wall that enclosed
Got
part
it.
of this park.
So that they could hunt on it, I'm assuming. Hunt on the land.
I'm not entirely sure, but just so he could have more
Yeah.
land, I guess.
Okay.
So there's a lot of property here. And because of this, as the years went on, more buildings were built, they were taken down, more were built again. And then eventually in 1891, these beautiful gardens were designed and constructed there as well.
Hell yeah.
And even today, like this whole area is just really, really pretty and cool to look at. It's really old, but it's really cool.
Yeah. As long as you just don't think about how old it is, you'll be fine.
It's way too old for me to ever believe that someone could have put that together, but it's fine.
Dang, don't ever research like really anywhere in the Middle East.
I don't want to know. If it was built like even 1800, I can kind of like understand. 1700, I can get behind a little bit, but 1086?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. And then anything BCE, you're
No,
like,
don't even talk to me about that. Like, actually, don't even utter those words, okay? You know better.
You like take that shit back.
So, of course, this shit has a long, long, long history with many different people having come in and out of this home over many different centuries, which obviously means that there's some lingering spirits still floating around here.
Yeah, that's so real. That's the most dangerous part about these old ass buildings.
Is all the spirits.
You've had some stuff happen in these places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People coming and going, you don't even know.
Yeah, you don't even know. Tragic
No.
deaths.
So many.
Like more than one plague. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So they say there's about 7 like ghosts and spirits that are often seen throughout the manor and the gardens. So the first ones I'm going to talk about are kind of ones that have been seen in more recent years. There's a few apparitions that claim to be fairly new to the grounds, like people just started reporting sightings of seeing them in the last couple of decades. In 2018, 2 visitors that were walking around the gardens saw what they described as a bride in an out-of-fashion wedding gown strolling around by herself.
Always got to be a woman in white.
Always.
Are you even a haunted location if you don't have a woman in white?
No.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't even, you don't even count.
Hand in your card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to have one. So the Athelhampton House is known for hosting many weddings here because obviously, like I said, it's a beautiful area. There's really beautiful gardens here. So these 2 visitors just assumed that there was a wedding taking place and they were like, oh, that's just the bride. She's taking a little stroll by herself. Yeah. So they finish taking their own little tour and walking around, and they go up to the reception desk and they're like, hey, like, are there any weddings going on today? We wanted to kind of pop in and take a look. And the receptionist replied, nope, there's no weddings today. Huh. Nothing happening on the grounds.
That's not good.
So according to legend, the bride is believed to be the spirit of a young lady who was tragically murdered on her wedding night. Her restless spirit is said to wander the grounds of the Athelhampton House in her white wedding gown, forever seeking justice for her sudden and tragic death.
Was it him who did it?
I mean, who's to say?
I hate to bring out my statistics.
I hate to say it's always the husband, but...
What about the fiancé?
The fiancé? Probably.
Probably
most
also
likely.
usually
Yeah,
the fiancé.
most likely,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
The person you're going to marry, most likely, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that, you said that was the statistic? Where it was like the person that's most likely to marry you is the person...
Most likely to murder you, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, your romantic partner is the person most likely to murder you.
Exactly. So watch your back, guys.
Well, that's if you're a woman. I don't think that's the case if you're a man.
You never know.
That's why it's women in white.
That's true.
Not dudes in like a rented tux.
So real. Another recent spirit is of a lady who walks around saying hello to everyone. 3 different staff members that were working on the grounds by themselves reported hearing a woman say hello when there was absolutely no one else there or in the room.
You as a ghost.
I was going to say, she seems like a nice gal. She's not doing any harm.
Yeah, you're just overly polite.
She's
Can't
like,
help yourself.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I will be right back with some waters if you guys want to take a look at the menu.
Shut up. That was a personal attack. Thank you so much.
I'm just picturing your server voice.
My server voice is like all the way up here.
Can you give them an example of it?
Oh, no. It's embarrassing.
Is it too much on the spot?
Yeah.
Is it one of those things you can only do it if it's like you're there?
Like, I think if you were sitting watching me, you would be like, oh, like you've never heard it before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like heard me talk to someone else that I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I have. I've seen you at lots of jobs where you do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I know it exists.
It exists.
It's like my when I talk on the phone.
Oh, I've heard you do that.
I have a crazy voice when I talk on the phone.
You do. You don't sound like yourself at all.
I remember the first time Amanda heard it, she was like,
it's quite shocking. Yeah. It's almost as shocking as when Cassidy saw me in my squonk costume for the first time.
And that's shocking.
So most of the other spirits that are often seen here are clearly from like a long time ago. So back during the World Wars, soldiers were often sent to the Athelhampton House as like a place to stay and live leading up to the war and leading up to D-Day.
Okay.
So there was always soldiers coming in and out of this place. And it is believed that maybe a soldier perhaps died in battle and then came back to the Athelhampton House in the afterlife because he just liked it so much.
It was the last place he was happy, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because there's often sightings of a soldier in his uniform just walking up and down the halls. And this is to me like a prime example of when a ghost gets to choose where they like get to haunt for all eternity.
Yeah.
Because a lot of ghosts or spirits in the Athelhampton House specifically, it kind of seems like they get trapped in the place that they died and they can't leave. But this guy was like, I just liked it so much. I want to go back and live there forever.
I wish I could remember. I just heard someone say this. Crap. And now I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was the Newkirks, but it was someone like that I was like watching or listening to their podcast. I've been watching and listening to a lot of spooky stuff lately because obviously. 'Tis the season. But somebody described it as like ghosts are like trapped where they are and spirits are people who moved on and can come back to visit.
Oh.
So like if like your grandpa comes and sees you, like he's a spirit.
Yeah.
But like a ghost is someone who's like trapped here.
for all eternity.
Or like just until they finish business or they don't know that they're dead or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But that's how they described it. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah. Like spirits visit and ghosts haunt. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could pick where I would haunt for all eternity, it'd probably be like a bar, like somewhere where I can get Aperol spritzes forever.
That my dad said if he could be a ghost, he would pick to be a ghost at a bar in New Orleans.
Hell yeah.
That's literally what he picked.
That'd
And he
be
was like,
so fun.
He was like, and it'd be a cool place for you guys to come visit me.
Exactly. Yeah. If you want to go see Jay in the afterlife,
but I'm not gonna accidentally scare you in the middle of the night.
Right. Like, you know where he's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Like, don't come into my room. Don't sneak into my room in the middle of the night and stand at the foot of my bed. But I'll go visit you at the bar in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
I think everyone should be more like that.
I agree. Yeah. Gentle parenting.
So for the rest of the ghosts that haunt these halls, it does seem to appear that they have died in or on the grounds in some way and possibly got trapped there. There's a ghost known as the Cooper that is heard in the wine cellar. So William Martin, he was a huge collector of wine, and he had this big cellar made like downstairs, kind of in the basement. And a Cooper was someone that would make or repair the casks and the barrels for wine. Like that was like the job title.
Okay.
So when you're down in the wine cellar alone and you hear the tip-tap tapping of metal on metal, you know that the Cooper ghost is down there with you and he's just repairing some wine barrels.
You know what? That's got to be the worst way to get it. You get stuck at work.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. To be working for all eternity, no fucking thank you.
Those got to be the bitches who don't know they're dead.
Yeah. And he's
so
just
they're
like
I gotta
he's just
go to
working
work.
hard, like trying to fucking, I don't know what exactly they do.
He's
but
like, people are getting so rude. They don't even acknowledge me when I say hi in the hallway, you know?
Yeah, that is rude.
Yeah.
Huh. Then there are two guys that haunt the Great Chamber, and they are known as the Dueling Swordsmen. So,
like this already.
So one day, this woman who was staying as a visitor, I think at some point in like the couple centuries that this place was existing, it was like a hotel. So there was one woman, she was staying, and she was in the Great Hall, just kind of like relaxing. She was reading a book when two men burst into the chamber in the middle of a sword fight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the woman was like obviously alarmed, and she's kind of annoyed that these people are coming and disturbing her peace and quiet when she's just trying to read.
Sorry. Kind of annoyed at these people who are trying to kill each other.
So I don't know if she thought maybe they were doing like a reenactment of some kind, or if they were just like playing around because it was a long time ago.
Yeah. But
she jumps up and she starts pulling on the bell rope for the servants to come.
and nobody came. So she tried to get back to reading her book and just ignore the guys while they are literally dueling with swords next to her. Because like I said, she thought it was just like a reenactment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Until one of the guys cuts the other guy in the arm with his sword and the guy starts bleeding. And then he leaves the hall. They just leave the hall. And she's just sitting there like, what the fuck?
She was like, oh, those were real swords.
She's like, what did I just witness? Like, that was so crazy. So a little while later, one of the staff members comes in and he's like, oh, ma'am, like, what do you need? I heard the bell. And she's all, well, I was just really concerned because these two guys came in. They started dueling with swords. And then one of the guys starts bleeding. Like, you have really unusual guests here. This is crazy. Yeah. And the staff member's like, well, I'm not quite sure who you're referring to. Like, you met every single guest here today at tea. Like, you surely would have recognized somebody. And then she looks at the camera wide-eyed and she's like, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, she has the Jim Halpert moment.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Another very common apparition that is seen is a black hooded figure that people believe to be a priest.
Ah.
So there's a lot of like secret rooms and chambers in this house. I mean, it's really giant. Obviously, you have to have some secret rooms.
If you don't have secret rooms, can you even call it a mansion?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And there is a place believed to be a priest hole. I'm so sorry. That's the actual name of it. I'm so sorry.
Nobody tell Fleabag.
You can look it up on Wikipedia, guys. It's a real thing. But a priest hole is something that back in the day was like a hiding place for priests to go so they wouldn't get prosecuted. Because I guess like when Queen Elizabeth was in heir in reign or whatever it's called, she was like trying to get all the Catholic
like
priests.
Catholics versus Protestants.
Yeah,
and all that
she was
stuff.
trying to get them out of here so they would hide in their priest hole.
Their priest holes.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
All right.
Just the way it is. So they actually had one of these at the Athelhampton House. So they believe that the hooded figure is one of those priests.
Got it. Okay.
So he's often seen in broad daylight by the housemaids or by people just kind of like out of the corner of their eye. They see a black hooded thing like running from room to room.
Yeah.
One woman that was tending to the beds in a bedroom, she claimed to hear footsteps behind her. And then when she turned around, she saw the hooded priest standing in the doorway staring at her.
I don't like that at all.
And then when she went to follow him, he disappeared around the corner.
Oh. Must be weird and depressing to be like a man of God and they're like, just kidding, you have to be a ghost. You don't even get to go to heaven.
I mean, here's the thing. There's a good chance it's not a priest.
It's just a scary little guy.
Yeah, because people keep calling it like the black hooded figure. So I don't really know where they're getting the priest element from, but
they're just trying to explain it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there is the gray lady. We had the lady in white, and now we have the lady in gray. And she is often seen in the Great Chamber. Nobody really knows exactly who she is, but they do believe that she didn't get there until the later part of the 1600s because the area that she haunts wasn't built until 1650.
Okay.
But she is often seen passing through the walls on the upper floor and coming in and out of the bedrooms. In 1966, a housekeeper walked into a bedroom and saw the gray lady sitting in a chair after the last of the day's visitors had left. And she said to the lady, "I'm so sorry, madam, but I'm afraid that the last of your group had just gone and the house is closing to the public. Would you very much mind leaving?" And without saying a word, the gray lady got up and left through the wall.
I knew it. How polite, though.
Yeah, she was like, all right.
That's the politest ghost ever. Hey, would you mind leaving? Sure. Gets up, walks out.
She's like that SpongeBob meme. I'm going to head out.
I'm going to head out.
But I'm going to walk through this wall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And now, finally, we have arrived at probably Athelhampton's most infamous ghost. This is the ghost that visitors often come to catch a glimpse of. And I'm going to apologize in advance for everything I'm about to tell you.
Oh, boy.
But this is just from the research. This is not me. This is not me, okay? This is just what
This is not
other
her.
people say.
She is but yet a vessel of the information.
I am just relaying information that other people have said. So do not get mad at me, okay?
Okay.
But back when the Martin family moved into Athelton, I keep saying Appleton, Athelhampton House.
Your American mind just cannot.
I know. I'm like, Appleton? They had their family crest put into the stained glass windows in the Great Hall.
Okay.
And their family crest is a monkey sitting on a stool, and it's chained to the stool holding a mirror.
Okay. What a disturbing family crest.
Very disturbing. And on the outside, it says, "He who looks at Martin's ape will look at him." And that is the motto of the family. It's very disturbing. I know.
don't like these people.
Very strange. So there is a legend that someone in the Martin family, I believe it was the grandson of William Martin, his name was Nicholas, ended up acquiring a pet monkey because it's their family crest. And this is also a long, 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 long time ago.
People still have pet monkeys.
I know. But this is back when it was like more acceptable, I would say. Like people didn't know any better.
No, they still
don't know any better. Watch Chimp Crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Actually don't, but
Ugh.
so they had this monkey and he kind of just had free roam of the place. He could do what he pleased and run around and do whatever he wanted. And as the legend goes, one of the daughters at the time was severely heartbroken over a love affair gone wrong. And she was so depressed that she found her way into a secret chamber above the Great Hall, and she ended her life.
Okay.
But what she hadn't noticed was that the monkey had followed her into the chamber.
Okay.
And she had locked the door before she completed suicide, and the monkey was stuck in there for days until her family finally found her. And unfortunately, by then, the monkey had starved to death.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the monkey ate her.
No. They're both bad, but that would have been way worse.
That is just what I assumed.
Yeah, no. He just starved to death.
Okay. I mean, R.I.P. little guy, but oof. He's got good self-control.
Yeah, for real. And this monkey happens to be the most famous ghost at the Athelhampton House today. When taking a tour of the Great Hall, you can often hear what sounds like clawing at the door of the secret chamber, which people believe is the monkey trying to claw its way out.
Ugh, it's horrible.
But it could be the sounds of him scratching something else. So allegedly, he is often seen to visitors scratching at his private parts or even masturbating with a big smile on his face.
In Chimp Crazy, they talk about that, how the chimps will just fucking jerk it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And this is the ghost that attracts most of the visitors here to this day.
Of course. Yeah. Do any of these fuckers pop out of the wall and have a huge cum shot? You've seen that sketch, right?
Yes.
I'm not trying to make anyone have the worst day at their job.
People are like, I gotta see the masturbating monkey.
Gotta see it. Gotta see the huge cum shot.
So one visitor was a 41-year-old man who came to Athelhampton with his wife and 3 children. And he said, "We heard that the monkey, which haunts the house, loves to scratch his privates while swinging around. We didn't see him, which is a shame because it would have been a real sight."
Okay. You're raising those kids right. I can already tell.
People will also often have their weddings here literally just in the hopes that they see the monkey.
I feel like seeing the monkeys, it's got to be a bad sign.
It's probably a bad omen,
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah. 7 years bad luck.
At least.
At least.
The family that owns Athelhampton today is the Cook family. And they say that this is a lovely place to live. They really enjoy it, but they also have had their fair share of ghost encounters. Andrea Cook told the Daily Echo, "Last Christmas, we had a dinner party, and after our evening meal, I asked the party if anyone wanted a ghost tour. As I said it, the angel from the tree flung across the room, frightening everyone."
So, yes, you want the ghost
So,
tour.
yes, absolutely. Andrea didn't really seem to mind, like, any of the ghosts. She often said, like, you know, they can do whatever they want. I'm not here to, like, you know, yuck anyone's yum over here, maybe except for the monkey, but whatever. But the only thing she didn't like was that her children would often see figures, like black figures, standing at the foot of their bed, and they would hear footsteps and strange noises. And when they would have sleepovers, their friends would get really scared because they would hear like someone jingling the doorknobs and stuff. And they'd be like, I don't really want to stay over anymore. And the kids were like, we don't like this anymore because our friends don't want to sleep over.
Yeah.
So she was like, listen, I don't care about the spirits, but don't fucking scare my kids in the middle of the night. So she ended up saging all of their rooms, and that seemed to actually really help keep all the little scaries.
Yeah, like just go to other parts. Don't go in my kids' rooms.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But she says, it is a beautiful home, and we are happy here, and it is generally a lovely atmosphere despite the stories.
All right, fair.
And that is the Athelhampton House.
The Appleton?
The Appleton Masturbating Monkey House.
Wow, well, thank you for sharing that with me.
You're so welcome.
I want to go.
I want to go too. And maybe we'll catch a glimpse of the monkey.
Yeah, some monkey masturbation.
Some monkey business.
Monkey
Ooh,
business.
just monkeying around.
Sick.
I knew you weren't going to like that. That's why I was like, this is not me speaking.
You're like,
this is
not
straight
me.
up what everyone else says, not me.
If it was up to me, I would never talk about this monkey's dick.
I was like, Cassie is going to hate me for that.
All right. How about we finish this off with a listener story?
Let's do it.
All right. So this is from Callie.
Hi, Callie.
And Callie says, hey, Amanda and Cassidy, absolutely obsessed with the podcast. I don't remember how I found you guys, but I'm glad that I did. I listened to a few episodes back in November and immediately went back to start, and now I'm on episode 108. Please keep doing what you're doing. Anyway, here's my story. Sorry if it makes zero sense. I'm bad at writing. When I was about 3 or 4 years old, my great-grandfather had passed away. Luckily, I was able to spend time with him while he was alive, but also when he wasn't.
Uh-oh.
Yes, you read that right. I still communicated with my great-grandfather, Gigi, after he passed. According to my mother, one morning I woke up and screamed, "Happy birthday, Gigi!" Except it wasn't his birthday. It was a few days later. Me being 3 or 4 years old, how would I even know what his birthday was when his birthday was anyway? Another time, my neighbor was babysitting me, and in the car, I would talk to my Gigi. I continued to talk to him all of the time. Now, here's the freakiest part. One time, I had seen my great-grandfather holding a baby, so I asked my mom about it, and she had no idea what I was talking about. To her knowledge, no one in our family had ever had a baby who passed. So she called my aunt and asked, did anyone have a baby who passed away young? And my aunt's response was, who told you?
Gigi told her.
My mom immediately hung up because she had to process what just happened. A little while later, she called her and found out that my great aunt had a baby who passed away very, very young. My mother was speechless. Her 3 to 4-year-old just told her a family secret through a ghost.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, I lost my sixth sense because my father's mother scared me too bad. Oh, that's all. Kaylee or Callie, not sure.
Well, I want to know.
Kaylee, I think. Kaylee.
I want to know how they scared you so bad.
I know. Probably like it's of the devil and all that stuff. That's
maybe.
usually like religious people.
Yeah.
And then kids are like, okay, broom. Shut that shit down quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. And if you would like to share something with us, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. You can also find our Patreon on there, our Instagram, our YouTube, all of that fun stuff. You're going to want to check it out. And you're definitely going to want to see Amanda's costumes. I'm sure they're only going to get more ridiculous as time goes on.
We shall see.
We shall see. But thank you guys so much for listening. And most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open and keep drinking the Kool-Aid.